This is the Women's Hockey Life Podcast.
Welcome to the Women's Hockey Life Podcast, empowering women and girls in hockey. We'll be talking in depth about what it really takes to be unstoppable on the ice and in life. We'll be looking at the mindset of the most successful women as they mastered the game and went on to even bigger successes in life because they mastered it. This podcast is brought to you by our friends over at the Hockey News and Sports Illustrated. Go to thn.com/deal to subscribe to their magazine today. She is a wife, a mother, a health and wellness advocate, an inspirational speaker, and the genius mastermind behind the creation of the T.I.G.E.R method. She played her collegiate hockey at the University of New Hampshire, and I'm sure absolutely schools her kids on their outdoor rink. She has faced more challenges and obstacles, personally and professionally, than anyone should ever have to go through at her young age. But she's resilient, strong, optimistic, and always sees the glass half full. Despite being a relatively new friend of mine, which seems odd given that she's 20 minutes down the road from me here in Ottawa, I am grateful and fortunate to have crossed paths with our guest today. Janine Charron, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Good, thank you. Excited to be here. You had me almost in tears with your little intro. Thank you.
Well, it's the truth. It's the truth. And like I said, we connected, I don't even know when it was, maybe a year or two ago. Time kind of has eluded me with COVID and everything else. So I don't actually know when it was, but there was this instant connection, similar paths, similar stories, but you've always just been this like beaming light. And it's easy to be drawn to you. And I hope our listeners today sense that, feel that, and become inspired by you.
Thank you. Means a lot.
Of course. So talk to me about you. I know you, I shouldn't say that. Talk to our listeners about you. Like, where'd you grow up? How'd you get involved in hockey? How did it all start for you?
Yeah. So, if you want to go back to the very beginning,
Cliff notes, I guess. I don't know.
British Columbia. My father was an RCMP officer. Actually, we did transfer from BC to Ottawa, and I was really lucky. My dad was a big sports nut. Our whole family is quite athletic. As young as I can remember, I always saw my parents getting up and working out or doing something active. And my mom was into swimming, and my father, weights and running or whatever he was doing. He loved to play sports. So hockey, even today, like in his 70s, he's still not right now with COVID, but he'd be like, oh, I got 6 goals. He's so great. But yeah, so our whole household was quite athletic. My brother and I both went away for hockey scholarships. My sister played Team Canada rugby. And it was just as common as making your bed and brushing your teeth. It was just the environment that we grew up in. And we were all, when I think about as a parent now, how much time and energy even goes into like my son's in Kung Fu. And I'm like, there's practice tonight, and as great as it is, it's just, you're busy trying to juggle so many different hats. I think about the time they put into us at the hockey rink, man, oh man. I don't even know how they did it with 3 of us in competitive sports.
And that's crazy because you all went on to have great careers and successes in your unique sports or whatever you chose to specialize in. And for you, like, was hockey always something that you loved, or when did that love for the game start?
Not at all. I was actually a ringette player, and like went to nationals and everything with ringette. And I was at the top of my game there, and I'll never forget. I had to have been, I swear, like 14 years old. I don't remember the exact age, but my dad puts me in a hockey camp with, I am no kidding, they've got to be like 7 and 8 year olds. And I was ready to be like, what the heck, Dad? Like, I sat with the instructors in their dressing room because I was told, and I was so furious. But after that one day, at the first day of camp, I came home and I was like, I never want to play ringette again. And then that was it. It was hockey. Now, I was a very strong skater, so it was easy to disguise, like put a stick and poke the puck up the ice and, forecheck and cough it up. Had no idea what the heck I was doing. But the skating got people's attention, and then I just had to really focus on the stick handling. And my dad, like, no joke, with a green spray can bottle would like spray dots outside on the ground, and I had to do, like, he'd give me stick handling drills. So like my brother would be away at university sending home his stick handling drills for my dad So my dad would look it up online. He used to run an NHL camp actually with Claude Julien. He's
No
the
way.
Montreal Canadiens head coach right now, but he's with Boston Bruins. But when Claude went into the NHL, that camp had to stop. But I had a little stint where I got to skate with those guys too. So just been exposed and around it my whole life.
That's amazing. Okay, so we do have non-Canadian listeners. So what is ringette?
Oh gosh.
Right? Like, how do you explain that one?
Ringette is predominantly a female sport. I don't know if any guys, there was no males that played back then, but I don't know what the times today. Who knows? There might be some boys on the team now. But picture a long stick with a ring, and you have to like spear the ring. You have to pass over the blue lines, and like there's different rules, but and you have to like, so picture whipping a ring across, and then you have to like stab the ring, and then you can do wrist shots and everything with it. It's a really fun sport, and it's fast, and it's
I feel like that's a lot of hand-eye coordination too. Like you have this ring being whipped at you. You got to like time it perfectly to get in the middle of it.
I still like, I'm shocked at how talented we were back then.
Right?
I don't know if I'd be as good at it as it now if I tried. I should try it on my backyard rink.
We can bust that out. I'm coming over if that's the case. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there. So then what was that transition like? Like, you went from ringette to hockey. You said, you knew how to like kind of, your dad helped you with stick handling, this, that, and the other, but you switched to hockey.
Yeah. Scouts. I got, scouts saw me right away. And again, I'm sure it was the strength of my skating, and my dad put me in green pants, and their colors were not green.
I love your dad.
So no, but he's so smart. And for those that are in hockey, you want to find a way to stand out. Wear a different colored helmet, paint your stick pink or whatever, tape it pink. Yeah. I was in the green Gloucester Ranger pants from my brother. Again, everything was handed down. So
I get it.
But it's a brilliant way for you to, how do you stand out when you've got all these amazing players? Honestly, put something on you that doesn't match the rest of your team. I don't know if they'll like complain about no, but don't just do it. Don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. And honestly, I was like, who's this girl with the green pants? And it got recognition. And my dad was great. He even, I found out after the fact, I'm not such a great skater that I just got scouted. He made video and sent it out to universities. Yep. So he did the work too. And I mean, if you want something to happen in life, I mean, you got to go after it. And yeah, he sent video to all the different universities. I mean, I was speaking to, I got some letters from Princeton and Yale, Harvard talked about me going to their prep school, and I had good grades here, but I was like 15 or 16 and my parents were like, we're not sending you away at that age. And I'm a December baby. So even when I signed and went to UNH, I was 17.
Wow.
But, and then turned 18 in the December of that first semester. But what an experience. It's so enjoyable.
Your dad was ahead of his time to like, how do we make you stand out? Let's put video out there. Like that's common stuff now because it's a little bit easier with iPhones and everything else to do video and whatnot. But I'm going to use that little tip and trick of how do you make yourself stand out?
It's totally, I mean, it's just
awesome.
In a world today, even with business, like when I ran my business or when I'm doing stuff on social media, we're so inundated with images and people are always trying to sell stuff, whatever. Like, how do you set yourself apart? So really finding that thing that is your thing and let it be that skill set, right? Because especially for women and young girls that are looking to go off to university, you don't have to be the goal scorer. You don't have to be like, every team is a puzzle, and we're always looking for that missing puzzle piece. Like, I just fit the role. They needed someone who was gritty and fast, that could cough up the puck. And it was really funny because like my first 7 games, my dad actually sent me this article. I don't have it, but it was like, freshman Janine Charron Christmas matching for leading scorer, doesn't look like a freshman. And it was so funny because my dad's like, how are you scoring goals? We didn't even know this was part of it. I was like, see, I always had it. And then like I went back to I think I got in my head and overthought too many, got nervous and stuff, but it was just funny. It was just an unexpected start to my university career.
I love that. I know you say college, university, depending where you are, right? It's interchangeable, really. Yeah. US, Canada, it's all the same. So that whole recruiting process, obviously your dad helped, just having you stand out a little bit differently. Got recruited, December baby, young. So you moved from Ottawa.
I went to St. Lawrence for a recruiting trip, and then New Hampshire. I was just
loved it.
Fun, really fun.
So you were young though. You were young when you went there.
Oh yeah.
What was that transition like for you?
Honestly, I'm pretty naturally bubbly, so like any new
Shocking.
any new experience, I was like wide-eyed and like, this is amazing. My 7-year-old reminds me so much. My mom even says she reminds me so much of you, Janine, but like everything is like beautiful and this is so fantastic and oh my God. So I transitioned well because I loved people, but the beauty of joining a team when you go on to university, I mean, you feel like a small fish in a big pond, even though it's whether you're in a big campus, small campus, but walking into a team where you've got 20, I don't even know how many people are on our team, but 20 other women that are instantly like family. I mean, it is such a blessing. I mean, the dorm room experience, oh my gosh, so many funny stories. Like I'm in a chat thread on Facebook with all my teammates, and the pictures and the stories, like, thank God there was not social media when we were in college, university.
I always say that too. I'm like, thank goodness Facebook was just coming out when I was in college, because
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, like just learning about like how to talk to media, doing video, and all this stuff that I look back where, I mean, you really take it for granted how fortunate, like people are talking about, like visualization and nutrition and watching your team, the people that your competition and studying the video. I mean, back then, honestly, I was just like in such a like high happy bubble. I did it, but I didn't realize how valuable it is till now when you're looking back and you're coaching others. And I mean, and to get an amazing, I have a Bachelor of Science in Business Marketing from the Whitmore School of Business, and to get a great education and be able to skate, practically 6 days a week. What a blessing. I feel very grateful that I got that opportunity.
And that's what I think, I hope a lot of people hear is like, it doesn't matter where you end up. And I mean, from like the title perspective of whether it's NCAA Division I, U Sport, NCAA D3, ACHA, or ACAC, like there's so many spots out there for people to play. And it's about truly finding the right fit for you, academically, athletically, socially. Like there's a home for you.
And you don't need a C on your jersey to be a leader,
Thank you.
And actually, we had a switch over of coaches my sophomore year. I actually had to switch from, I was a winger, center, and then we needed a defenseman, and I was one of the stronger backward skaters. So at least I think that's what happened. And they put me on defense. I remember the first month I completely hated it, but coaches see potential and they see, and then a month in, I absolutely loved it. And then when I went back to forward, it's like you have eyes on the back of your head, but they made me an assistant captain that year. And I remember it was like, we were already into the season and it wasn't, and literally because I showed up, I was positive and I pushed my teammates or whatnot, that gets recognized. So even for young girls, whether you don't think you're the best, the most talented, or you bring something to the table, your personality, the best, having a great attitude, that is so powerful. If you're tenacious, my dad always says, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So your attitude is a huge factor in what teams are looking for as well. If you're not coachable, you might not get as many opportunities in someone who's open and willing, right? So very grateful for.
That's the truth. And I used to remember from my coaching days, like some of my favorite players to coach were those third and fourth line grinders that knew their role, accepted it, excelled at it, and lifted their other teammates up because of it. Like It wasn't about the recognition. It was, they saw it as a team sport, right? So they knew their role. They knew how we were going to win and be successful. And that's invaluable. Like if you know your role and you can accept it, obviously always keep pushing and striving to, make that second, first line, but it's a full team effort. Everyone has a role. Everyone plays a role, and some it's more than others, but it doesn't mean it's any less valuable. Like look at the punter on a football team.
It's even exactly. Even what you learn in sports is so applicable to daily life. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind, sometimes you're on first line, sometimes you're on third or fourth. And you know what? When you're going through those phases, that's when you need to go inside and not focus on all the external. You need to do the personal development, or maybe you need to be training a little bit harder, or doing I had put on a couple extra freshman 20.
I get it. Yep.
Like we would get off the ice, we would lift, and then I'd hop on a treadmill for an hour. I was just like, but that won me so much extra ice time because the lungs were crazy from all the extra cardio I was doing. And I'm not telling anyone that they need to go and do extra, but if you're open, life is all about awareness, right? and just having that awareness. So if you're willing to look inside and take full responsibility, you know what, I haven't been maybe showing up as hard and I need to put more time in, and I'm not as skilled as her, so what comes easy for her there is where I need to put a lot of extra hours. And so those are some things that I had to do to get to earn my place. And you're going to go through the regular ups and downs, but if you can just, the key is closing the gap when you're off and to getting back to that peak state, right? And it's just really interesting, and it's so applicable like into my own business and to going through breast cancer and all that stuff. So
that's kind of where I wanted to go. So perfect segue. It's like we're on the same page here. but it's true though, as hockey players, like we physically put ourselves through the grind, right? You're in the weight room, you're working out, you're doing cardio, you're on the ice, you're getting bag skated by your coaches. Like,
oh
yeah.
The blue line, red line, blue line. What is that called again? I forget.
I just think of the movie Miracle. I don't even know. Everyone has different names for it, but it was just a bag skate. When the whistle came out, it was a bag skate. But there's also like a mental side to it, and that's where you're starting to touch on it. And this is where I want to get into it, because you've got a business with it. We'll get into the T.I.G.E.R method as well, because I love that. But when did that start becoming important for me? Like, was there a time where your experience playing hockey helped you overcome an obstacle or a challenge, or I'll let you go. But ready?
Yeah. I don't know. At a young age, I found some old journals. Like, it was funny. My daughter, we were going through an old box that my dad had dropped off, and it had like stuff for my hockey career and everything in there. And I've saved articles and stuff like that. And there was a notebook, and it was funny. And the first, when you open it, it says attitude is everything. Like, I was writing quotes and stuff like that. I always had an attraction towards personal development, but didn't even realize that I was doing it. I only became aware of it in 2010, when I was getting into goal setting and stuff when I worked with Lululemon and started my T.I.G.E.R method. But I have been obsessed with it for a long time. I'll never forget this card I got from a teacher. I don't know if it was grade 7 or 8, and it said, leaders are like eagle, they don't flock, you find them one at a time. And that's always stuck with me. And mindset, I always had this awareness of and positivity, and my mom growing up, she was always doing more for people than not asking for anything in return, or like picking people up off the street to make sure they get home safely, or she would catch like robbers in our neighbor's house. Like, she's just so aware and perceptive and so kind. She's a nurse, and she's got the biggest heart. And I think it was just always ingrained in me. And that was the focus leading into, so I own Inside Out Studio Bar, which is a ballet bar fitness studio, the first one to come to Ottawa. And our studio mantra was, people rarely remember what you say, but they always remember how you made them feel. And so that was a big focus of the studio. But behind the scenes, as a business owner, I had just gone through a divorce, and had moved back to Ottawa with my now husband, Greg, and I was living in Texas at the time. And so there was lots of transition happening. And then we opened up our studio, and Cole's Note version, to see how mindset had to come into play. 2012, we opened our doors to Inside Out Studio Bar, our first location in the Westboro area. And then 2013, we gave birth to my daughter, Sally. 2014, we gave birth to George. George wasn't necessarily planned, but
we love him.
He's thank gosh he came when he did. 2015, we opened our second location in the Stittsville area, for those of you familiar with Ottawa. And unfortunately, that was not the right location for this type of business. It was a high-end luxury boutique studio. And then that was a very challenging year. Financially, one studio was trying to support the other, and we ended up going through a bankruptcy in 2016. So you can imagine, like, new relationship, babies, bankruptcy, just like one or the other, divorce, all this stuff. And then we had to, 2017, we were in a very dark place. And as a health professional, you're going to make bad decisions too. Behind closed doors, I felt like a fraud. I don't know how much you can or can't say on this if we're talking to.
We're good.
Oh, like fully
raw,
open.
Raw, honest, real.
So here you are as a health professional, but you're eating and drinking, and it's totally out of alignment of what you're preaching. And 2017, I had to have a really hard look in the mirror, and I knew, if you want to change anything in your life, we're so quick to look at the external factors and point the blame. But at a young age, I always knew about personal responsibility, and if anyone was going to change it, it was going to be me. Now it takes time to close that gap. As you go through more stressors in your life, you're able to rebound a little bit more quickly. But that period took a long time for us to have the realization, like, I was putting on weight, and eating unhealthy and drinking too much wine. And then I remember that I'll never forget May 2017. It was like a light bulb moment where I was actually crying, had a little bit too much drink, and was like, Grandpa, please give me a sign and I will turn this all around. And one of my girlfriends had written me a message. She's like, where's your T.I.G.E.R method? And no one had said the T.I.G.E.R method to me since 2011 when I left Texas, and it really was kind of like, okay, world, I'm listening. Yeah. And then I started taking care of my health, dropped 11 pounds. My husband dropped 15 that month. And it was just you saw by me going to that different headspace, and that's why mindset is so important. I was a great way to think about it this morning when I was listening to a podcast. It was talking about this woman looking out her windows, and her neighbor was hanging up dirty laundry, but she was like, I don't understand. Does this woman not know how to clean her clothes? Like, it was, the whites looked very dingy. Does she not know how to wash them? Is she not using soap or detergent? And then again, she saw her neighbor putting out the laundry. And again, she kept saying to her husband, like, I don't understand. What's wrong with her? How come she doesn't know how to do laundry? And then the next day she got up and she looked out the window, and she was shocked because she saw the laundry and it was like bright white sheets. Everything was immaculate. And she said to her husband, I can't believe it. She must have learned how to wash her linens. And her husband smiled and said, no, I just got up early this morning and washed all her windows. So from the lens at which you are looking at things, this is where a lot of my T.I.G.E.R method comes in: compassion, open-mindedness. And it's the lens in which we see our world. So if you're in a negative headspace, or if you're not taking care of yourself and you're eating poorly, your gut is your second brain. So health is so important. So if we're eating crappy foods, we get crappy thoughts. And when we have crappy thoughts, we take the actions that we take are non-alignment with our higher self, so to speak. So it was just a beautiful, like, I heard it, and I've been through a little bit of a tougher spell, mentally and emotionally, coming out of my breast cancer and having a double mastectomy this summer. But and just, it's that identity piece, right? And you've got to be the master of your mind. I mean, your mind is where we spend all our time. So sorry, something's popping up on my computer here. So that was just an eye opener and a transition phase for us. And we had to just take radical responsibility, 100% accountability. Like, our bankruptcy was no one's fault other than our own. My gaining weight was no one forced the food in my mouth. No one forced that, that was my choosing. But if anybody is looking to make a change in their life, the first thing they have to do is take accountability and responsibility and really truly look at where they're at. And then that transitioned into, sorry, someone's trying to pop up on my screen here. And that just transitions into everything being affected. So we lost weight, we got our head right. And my first studio, which was awesome, started to take off literally in a month. It went back to packed classes with a wait list. The power of the universe, like, when you're physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, everything is in alignment, the universe shows up for you. I truly, in my heart of hearts, whatever you believe in, when that internal compass is anchored to that part of you which has always been there, that little voice in your head, and you're doing what you really, when you're living in that higher level, that when you're vibrating at that higher level, the world just shows up for you. The right people show up. Everything comes. I'm sure you've experienced it. Have you ever experienced a time like that in your life where things just...
Janine, yeah. You coming into my life as I launch this podcast, I believe, is the universe lining me up with the right people, because we have the same thoughts, feelings, the universe vibrating at a higher frequency, all of that stuff that I truly believe in. But I also grew up where social media and the news and teachers and coaches, whatever, like they would push those, you're crazy. What are you talking about? How can you believe in something you don't see? And I'm like, because I feel it. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I guess the question I kind of segue here is more, I've seen it work. I know that it works. I get it. When you're in that right space, when you're in alignment with who you truly are, everything lines up. The universe is going to support you. It's going to be there for you. How can you get other people to believe in that? Or how can you get other people to jump on board or just give it a chance?
Yeah. So a lot of people misunderstand self-confidence, self-worth, and self-love. A lot of people think like they're going to wake up one day and all of a sudden just have all this confidence in the world. It doesn't work like that. So the T.I.G.E.R method is actually
Yes.
The vision
Get
of the
into that.
T.I.G.E.R method is to transform a world of wishful thinking into a world of powerful action. And what that means is, I mean, yeah, we hear about the law of attraction, all that stuff, and it's fine. It's literally, guys, there's something, whether it's called your intuition, whether you believe it's God, whether you believe it's your belief, whatever. We all have that invisible energy, that voice in our head, that other people categorize and however you understand it. That is, and fear will come in the way, right, of preventing you from taking action. But what I'm trying to say is you have to take action first. So let's say weight loss is the goal. It's so, and I know I was 240 pounds when I was pregnant with my second child. I know what it's like to just be discouraged to even like walk 10 minutes, but you got to get into action, and slowly by slowly, you have to build your self-worth back up, your self-respect, and your integrity with yourself. So we know if you don't, like, say if you make a promise to yourself and that voice in your head is like, yeah, right, not going to happen. We know you're not going to do that again, but we have good intentions. So we need to, the number one thing that you need to do is to trust yourself. Doesn't matter. Everybody looks for, it doesn't matter if other people believe in your dreams. Only thing that matters is if you believe in your dreams. So with the T.I.G.E.R method, it's a self-love project that anchors you to that internal compass. So that internal knowing and intuition that transforms you from the inside out, which is interesting because when we opened that second studio, I was almost nauseous. I knew we shouldn't have opened that second studio, but we did it anyway. It was like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. We were just like, no, this is going to happen. We're making it happen. And I've always been able to muscle through things and make it work. In comes breast cancer though. And my left breast was removed in June and my right breast was removed in August. And now I wasn't able to work out. I couldn't muscle through it. And I really had to tap into that, getting quiet and slowing down, and had to deal with my feelings and deal with all that. And I really had to get to work. Now the T.I.G.E.R method has very many, there's 5 different areas to it. So the physical, the first piece was the mental. So, your mindset is the foundation of everything. And I won't explain all the others, but I'll explain the first T.I.G.E.R, the mental. So the T is transform your thinking. So if you're trying to accomplish something, what you need to learn, who do you listen to? So like doing your program, which is something that's going to help you understand, the application process to universities or college, who your mentor. I mean, if your environment is very contagious. So whoever you're spending the most time with, if they're negative, chances are you're going to have negative thoughts and feelings and negative actions. But if you surround yourself with people that are motivating and someone who's more successful than you or doing more than you will never put you down. It's people that are commenting. Usually they're in the peanut gallery, and you know what? If I have no the arena floor, with your face in the dirt and you're bloody and trying to get back up, like, don't listen to those comments. And unfortunately, parents, and as great as they think their intentions are, they're programmed from their parents and their parents and different generations of thinking. So that's why you have to be so connected to that internal anchor and compass. So the T is transform your thinking. So who do you listen to? So maybe you need to read a book. Maybe you need to find a mentor to help you achieve your goals. I love listening to podcasts, or I just YouTube motivation. And like if I'm walking on the treadmill or going for a run, and I just listen to it. And then the I is ignite your passion or purpose. So yes, there are things in life that we all have to do. We all have to pay taxes. We all have to stop at red lights. We've all got to go to pay our bills. So are you always going to have a dream job? No. But if you create this space to take care of yourself, and like my passion project was the T.I.G.E.R method, right? So when I write or journal or do things that are in alignment with that, I mean, like if I get up and do my morning routine, 5 a.m., I work out or meditate or journal, like I am ready to take on the world. But if I don't give myself that time and self-care, the rest of the day can kind of it can be a whole mess. So like another thing for passion, people get it really confused. They think it's something that they like have to find. Passion is an energy. So just make a list of all the things you like to do. So if you're feeling kind of crappy, go back to that 15-year-old, 12-year-old child, and what did they love to do? A lot of the times it doesn't change. We're attracted to what we're attracted to, and there's something in you that knows. And for as long as a dream lives inside you, it wants to get out. I feel like for as long as we're alive, that's why you need to take action. And then the G is goal setting. So great, we can have these great conversations. We can read all the books, do all the personal development courses, but we need to set some goals, obviously, around what it is we're trying to achieve. The E is execute. So take action. Again, we can do all the talk, we can do all the writing, but if we don't take action, nothing happens. And this is the action is the magic between connecting you from where you are and where you want to be. You act fast, act quickly, fail fast, act quickly, fail fast. Cause then you learn, right? And then the R is revise. So let's go back. What do we learn? Sometimes we think we want to do something. We go down that road and we realize, you know what, this really wasn't for me. And you find a whole new door opens and you're like, wow, I didn't even know I was into this, but like it brought up so much passion for me and energy. I should explore that. Now I'm going to learn about this. And maybe, so it allows you to go through it. So that's the mental side. And then when we went through our bankruptcy, the physical side came up, because if you need to make a quick change in your life, the quickest way to do that is to have change your physiology. So lose weight, get in shape, all that stuff is going to really help you get into that healthy mind space. So there's the physical T.I.G.E.R, and there's an acronym that goes through that. Toxicity in the body, intermittent fasting, gut health, exercise, rest. And I won't go through them all. And then there's a spiritual one. And the spiritual one came to me more through my breast cancer journey, which is really interesting how it all came out. And then there's an emotional and a social T.I.G.E.R, and they all have acronyms. They all have things that you need to work on, but we really look at the whole wellness wheel. It's not all published yet. I'm working on a playbook. I want my T.I.G.E.R Talk podcast, and I've been writing a book called the T.I.G.E.R Method as well. So, and you know what? Everything evolves over time based on everything you go through. I truly believe everything's a blessing. My mom was like, I don't know who you're praying to, but I'm not thanking anyone for your cancer. And I'll never remember walking to the mailbox, just kind of feeling like, thank you. Not thank you for, I know cancer I don't want to downplay it. It's very serious and it can kill you. I was grateful that I caught it early enough, but I just felt like this is a blessing, and everything that I've gone through, divorce, bankruptcy, business ownership, breast cancer, I feel like I've always had this calling to want to impact many people. And I always knew that I needed more life experience. It's one thing to listen to a young 20-year-old who's all positive and rah, but like once you get some life experience under your belt, you can really relate to people. And like literally, I think the world gave me a C-section baby and a regular birth just so that I could talk to moms about this.
But seriously though, and your life is fascinating to me. You've literally been through the ringer, and I feel like I can ask you this question because you're very open and you're willing to be vulnerable in that, you said you caught the breast cancer early.
Yeah.
So do you believe that's because, what you're talking about, like one of the biggest things is you have to be self-aware. You have to be in tune with who you are, and you have to take the time to spend time with yourself, by yourself, to be alone, to hear those messages, to see the messages. Is that why you caught it early? Do you believe?
Totally. I'm like, my whole body, like my hair is standing up. I'm covered in chills. That's like my thing when someone's saying something that is absolutely. My grandfather is the one who called me T.I.G.E.R, hence the T.I.G.E.R Method. When he passed away in 2010, the T.I.G.E.R Method, the first piece, I literally just filled the notebook like in one sitting. And he was a very special part of me. But his wife had breast cancer when she was 55, my grandma. She passed away from it at 63. And I truly believe he's the one he's my person. I do have, faith in a higher being. But he is like, whenever I'm always talking to Grandpa. Grandpa's he's got a picture beside my bed. But for the last year and a half, I've been feeling like something or someone has been trying to get my attention. I've been seeing triple digit numbers like 111, 222, 333, 444, 555, 666, and it's crazy. It's just like literally for a solid year and a half. And I was kind of like, okay, I'm listening. I'm looking up what all these numbers mean. But
Anita, that's literally my life for the last year as well. Like I see it all the time. Every day I see a triple digit number.
Oh
like,
yeah. Sometimes it's like 111, and then you see it at 222, 333. No, I know. And that's like one time I was on the treadmill, like a bird just flew right into like the glass. And then like I looked down and there was these 3-digit numbers on the treadmill, and I'm like, okay, it was like 444, and I'm like, okay, what is it? So
444, angels are with you.
Yes. So I mean, literally I remember like I was running the day before, and then I was having like a week of just like insane dreams, and when I woke up, my hand was on my left breast, and literally like my husband was already up, kids were already up, and I just kind of was like, Greg, come check this out. And he was like, call your doctor right away. That was the morning of May 5th. I was in my doctor's office May 6th, and then I was in the cancer clinic May 18th when they told me like, I'm 95% sure we have to do a biopsy, but we're 95 to 99% sure you've got breast cancer. And the you don't call him a radiologist, what is her name? But anyways, the head nurse or doctor who was there said, "Who caught this?" And I was like, "I woke up from a dream." And she's like, "You're very lucky that." And then I was part of this early detection group, so I got to go through quick because it was a stage 1 grade 2 tumor, but when we did the mastectomy, they found 3 tumors in the breast. So, I mean, had this gone unknown, who knows where, unnoticed, who knows where I'd be. I truly believe someone was looking out for me and trying to get my attention. So, yes, going back to intuition, that if one thing that life has taught me, and I'm only 39, is listen to those gut instincts. Think about it. When you date someone and you know that they're wrong, you get all the red flags, but you're just like, oh, I'm so in love. But you know deep down they're not the right person,
Yes.
or whatnot, but we have to learn by dating a lot of the wrong ones.
Right. It's true though.
Yeah, so you're into like awareness is we're spiritual beings, we're spiritual people having a physical experience type thing.
100%.
So if you can connect with that intuition, which I've really started to get into meditation, I'm one of those, like, sometimes I'm like, I think I'm ADHD, not diagnosed, but I'm very like, la, la, you know. I remember like my hockey coach at UNH, she was like, "You're too fast. You're messing up the whole line." Like, no one, I had to learn how to control my speed. Right. And I'm high energy naturally, but it's easy to get excited. So just learning how to, listen to that inner voice and trusting it. Like sometimes I'll go for a walk and I'm like, oh, I want to go left, but my head is going, go right, go right, go right. And when I listen to those signs, I have the most amazing days. I meet the most amazing people, all these conversations that pop up. So
you see Blue Jays, you see Cardinals, you see things you probably wouldn't have noticed.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
You see the beauty in the world.
And you learn that through sports. I mean, think about teamwork and attitude and having to overcome, it doesn't feel great when you lose a game. Like I remember some teammates, man, when we lost, they were just an emotional wreck. And it was just that important to them. But it really teaches you how to learn emotions, how to deal with other people, how to how to deal with their emotions that they're going through, and how do we come back as a team. And I love off ice team building skills. I think they're so important, and getting to know your teammates is so huge for success for you as an individual and for the organization as a whole. And you just learn to overcome so many obstacles, and that really, sports at a young age, really started to mold that for me in my mind, and I'm so grateful for it.
And this is why I absolutely love you. Like you use the game of hockey and ringette. Let's not discredit ringette. It was there for you for the first half of your early childhood days. But
we did everything though. Like I played football, I played girls football, we played field hockey, we played soccer. I did everything but basketball, only because I wasn't very good at basketball, so I stayed away from it.
See you later, basketball.
Yeah.
No, but like you use sports, the game of hockey, any sport, to just teach you these life lessons that I guarantee you the younger you would have never known what you were about to go through, from divorce to bankruptcy to rebuilding to breast cancer. You've been through the ringer, and I hope that the game of hockey, but sports in general, have played a part in that and have helped you keep this incredible mindset. And I can't wait to read this book, listen to your podcast. When everything's said and done, like, I'm your biggest fan, and I will pump you and we'll do everything we can to get your name out there, because you have such an inspirational story, and I'm grateful that we've crossed paths. But how do people find you? Like, where are you? Are you on social?
It's funny. I'm on, Facebook, I'm under Janine Charron. I'm looking, it's funny. My handle this is how much I do social media. My Instagram is T.I.G.E.R Method Janine, all one word. But honestly, I had a website that I was actually starting to work on during COVID, because I had been laid off at the time. And then I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I actually have a friend that was helping me start a website. So it's not out yet. But so best thing would be T.I.G.E.R Method Janine on Instagram, or look me up on Facebook. Feel free to private message me or reach out if you have any questions at all. And I'd gladly jump on a phone call or video chat with anyone. So yeah,
that's just who you are. And I love that about you. So we're going to wrap up with the final question here, which is a loaded one. But if you could go back to when you were a little girl and tell yourself one thing, what would it be?
Just to trust yourself. It gets me, like, it's funny. Someone else, I was interviewed on another podcast, and like immediate tears come up. I've always had this feeling that I wanted to do something big and impact, and you don't have to impact millions to have an impact, like opening a door for someone or being kind. I got that from my mom, and I do it. I live my life like that. And my little daughter makes me so happy. We walk home and she picks up garbage because she's seen mom pick up garbage, you know. But I would just say trust yourself. And it took me a long time to feel secure with myself. And I look back, I'm like, gosh, if I just only had that confidence back then. It seemed like I did. Like I was happy. I didn't realize it, but just really trusting and loving yourself more. And I know it's hard. It's a hard one to do, but doing the internal work will really advance you further in your career. So work more on yourself than you do on your job or anything else, and watch what life gives you. I truly believe in that.
And I wish that schools taught that more, or there were other ways to, and you know what? You just said it. You feel like you can make a big impact on this world, and maybe that's the impact you're going to make, is to teach these young kids how to trust themselves more, how to be in tune with themselves more, and in more alignment with themselves, because when you know who you are, you don't care what other people think.
Oh, and the thought of people, we worry so much about other people think. That's a great comment, like to any child. And as a parent, your number one role is to build your child's self-esteem. They're going to be, I can't protect them from the internet. They're inundated with it. I can't protect them, but if they have a great self-worth and and that's why they have to take some sort of little action or goal. So if somebody is very insecure, okay, well, let's set a goal and and make it attainable, obviously. And then when they achieve it, guess what? When you achieve that goal, your confidence rises, and then it's like, oh, maybe I'll take another risk, and you can take a bigger goal. So for people that are a little bit nervous, it's like, okay, let's start with a small goal, let's achieve it, and then they'll get bigger and bigger. And then all of a sudden, once you start taking action, your confidence grows. And I mean, I'm pretty sure I gave my parents heart attacks. I've done so many things. Like I'm a yes woman. Like I filmed a movie with Justin Hartley last year. It's not out yet. I don't know why. I'm like, maybe my role didn't.
We'll say COVID.
I said yes, they needed an extra. And it was so funny. My mindset though, I said yes, and I was only supposed to be on set for one day. And if you see what they put me in, you'll die laughing. But I told myself, I'm like, well, if they're going to put me in this role, I'm going to be the best Tim. I can't say it yet because the movie's not out. I'm going to be the best Tim. And when it comes, and they called me back for 5 days on set because of my attitude and my personality. And I just I set my mind on it, and it happens. When I walk in a room, I always say to myself, they're going to love me.
It's awesome.
And you build that belief, right?
But it's also, and I know we're going on tangents here, but like I think it's important for even young girls or young boys to hear, like, it's okay to walk in with confidence. It doesn't mean you're cocky. It doesn't mean you're cocky. It means you know what your worth is.
Yes, and there's room for all of us.
Yes.
Be yourself. Don't be anyone else. There's room for each and every one of us. We all bring something different and unique. And cheer on your friends, cheer on your teammates, cheer on your competition. We're all in this together. You know what? And there's so much room at the top. It's crowded at the lower levels, but the people that really want to excel, there's
so much room.
Yeah, there's
so much room. And that's why I love connecting with people like you, because I know you're there. If you don't feel like you're there, you're going to be there, because I see it in you. I believe it in you. And there is a lot of room up there. So why not empower other people to get there as well?
Absolutely. You help others by lifting them up.
Exactly.
Up as well. So
Janine, holy, whew, this is like, thank you for being open, for being honest, vulnerable, everything inspirational. I say this, like, you're coming back. We're going to do this again. I can't wait until, the T.I.G.E.R Method, the book is out, the podcast's out. We'll get you back on and we can talk in depth more about that. But thank you for being you.
Thank you.
Like, I can't thank you enough for that. And everyone listening in, like, thank you for joining us again for another week, another episode. Hopefully you took away as much as I did. And you take some of these tangible things to do and apply it to your life and just be your true authentic self.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. What would you tell your youngest self?
I was trying to get out of that one. No one's you know what? You're the first guest to actually throw the question right back at me. And I think it would be to just truly understand how amazing I am. And I say that humbly, but like, I think we're all amazing human beings and we all have something unique to offer this world. And until again, we get in alignment with who we are and we see our value and we see our worth. Like other people can tell you, you're amazing, you're awesome, you're great at hockey, you're a great writer, you're this, that, and the other. But until you truly believe it yourself, you're never going to understand what they're saying. You're never going to feel it. So it's just having that belief that you are awesome and that you can literally do anything that you want to do. And you and I had a conversation off the air, off podcast, whatever we're talking here about, just like, I saw it in you. Like, someone puts you into a kitchen, you're going to make an amazing pie. Someone puts you in a court, you're going to win the case. Mm-hmm. So like, you're adaptable. And I now see that in myself. And again, I say this humbly, and it comes with life experience and everything else, but I now know that put me in any situation, put me in any ring, put me in any hockey rink, a baseball diamond, a courtroom, whatever, like, I will be resourceful and I will find a way to win.
Yeah. And that's why I always tell people to say yes to many experiences, because that's how you grow and evolve. Yeah. You figure out what you're really good at and what you like. But Gary Vee talks a lot about that. Like, it's not how old you are, it's how many experiences you've had.
I love Gary Vee.
Yeah.
I love him. I love that. And again, but it comes also from life experience. Like, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. That was not my goal. I didn't grow up being like, I want to run my own business, this, that, and the other. I loved hockey. Yeah. But then I found a way to make hockey my life through entrepreneurship and running a business. But with that came growing pains. Like, I had to learn how to run a business, how to build a website, how to find the right person to build a website when I realized I couldn't build a website, like how to crunch the numbers.
You know what you're great at, and delegate the rest.
Yeah, well, that's just it. But going through this experience of, you're running your own social media. Nope, not the greatest at it. Let's hire someone else to do it. But at least being willing to put yourself out there to try these things and do these things, and hey, it works, but it's not the best. But now I know what I don't want. So let's find somebody who can do what I do want. So it's just learning all those experiences. And I guess it's just tell the younger self, like, you're amazing. You're beautiful. You have something to offer this world. You're going to make an impact, and just trust yourself. Trust that intuition, follow your gut. Don't do, it's like peer pressure. Don't follow the crowd, like, create your own path.
Yeah. And failure is not a bad thing. It's the best teacher.
I love it.
Yeah.
It is literally the best teacher.
It is. But thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for being here. Again, everyone listening, thank you for joining us. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep chasing your dreams.